being attacked right away here by cultists. So obviously they didn't fall for the deception. Look at this, wearing snake-like patterned clothes. Just want to get an idea. Alright, they're all normal cultists. Die! Alright, she seems to be the spellcaster. Magic missile. Apparently, the followers of the snake weren't deceived at all. Did she not give the proper secret sign or something? No matter. They called themselves followers of the scale and praised their new matron Gulnan, the same one that gave Drawl, the leader of the Sword Coast Boys, undeath. Interesting. Lily reminds her meek mystic that she had intended to apprise her mistress of the oldest science, astrology. Linu begins eagerly, almost too eagerly. She talks excitedly about the planets Anadia, Chandos, Coliar, and Karpri, about stars and constellations like the Huntsman, the Dragon of the Dawn, the Lesser Fleth, the Vraelen, the Lady of Mystery, the Harp, the Hourglass, Correlian, Kingslayer, the Sword and Dagger, Esmel, Auril, Frostqueen, and the Wounded Lady, White Dragon, Firbolg, Elfmaid's Tears. Lily interrupts the dusty diviner as she needs to concentrate on her link with Bones. Alright, here's somebody. Cultist. Alright, a few of them. Boy. Should probably actually let them run out instead. Alright, the wolf's going in. Yeah, this is what we didn't want. Hold on.
You just follow me and stay close.
Stage this in this room if we can.
I'm getting to it.
There we go.
All right, crew. Let's take them down.
The fanatics are wearing garish robes that appear to have snake-like patterns woven throughout. They must be new in honor of their new matron. Ridiculous. The Inspector General is not going to be intimidated by some silly snake cult. Or, of course, there's more. There are outsiders present. The incantation is soiled. Alright. Apparently we've interrupted some kind of ritual. The incantation spoiled. What were they summoning? Courage? Aptitude? They failed. Miserably. Lily bids Linu to continue. She's not sure what any of it has to do with astrology, but listens with interest nonetheless. The north of the heavens is marked by Mystra's star circle, a circular constellation of large bright stars with utter darkness between them. It was named such because Mystra's floating Castle of Night, as heard in children's fairy tales, is said to float in the center of darkness. Due north is marked by the brightest of them, the Brow Star, also known as Alagairtha by the Bedine, a proud Bedine sorceress said to be imprisoned in the heavens for challenging the gods. Here in the north, the constellation is known as the Crown of the North, or the Cold Crown, though the barbarians refer to it as the Eye of Evil, or the hole that leads to darkness. The Bedine nomads call it Nazir's Tent, claiming it's the dwelling place of the Lord of the Dead, or the Circle of Swords, the shining scimitars of the greatest Bedine gathered at Nazir. Some even call it the Circle of Coins, thrown on high by the gods to taunt poor men. Alright, sure enough, I guess 2 cultists, or actually just 1. Bones can probably... Oh no, there is 2.
Die! Die and be forgotten!
East is marked by the Caltrop, 3 converging lines of stars, each with a cluster of stars at its outer end or point. It's also known as Arrows of the Gods, or the Sun Signpost, where the 3 lines come together as due east. A gargoyle skull, yet another welcome ingredient for Marek the Hammer's recipes of the forge, including the white bone armor, though it looks bigger than she imagined. The Hole of Wonders Museum and Shop in Baldur's Gate, they had a gargoyle on the stone roof. At least, she's heard that that one's real, in service to the High Artificer of the temple there. Wow, snake cult leader. Alright. Although he looks alone. You know what? I think Bones will sneak up. Hopefully I'll keep him busy. Okay. Everybody else will just run in. Alright. Too late. Elves. The leader of the snake cult, dead. And on his person a sash of shimmering. It's said to be a piece of the sash worn by Midnight herself, who ascended as the goddess of magic, Mystra, after the time of troubles. Her soul drank magic straight from the fabric of the weave, and many of her material belongings were transformed as well, including her sash, which soon sundered after absorbed too much energy. It protects the wearer from magical attack. Certainly a welcome addition to Lilly's arcane wardrobe, though it didn't help the snake cult leader much. And on the bookshelf, a curious-looking tome. Alright, a book titled In Service of Gulnan. Of course, the same one that Drawl was talking about. Oh, look at this. Dealing with how Cyric loyalists were ousted. Yeah, so it was a creature named Gulnan. So I think the pieces are starting to fold together. course, we know that Gulnan's a she, according to Drawl, and now we know that it's a creature. Which means most likely it's the auntie. Things are very different now, though they might not appear as such from the outside. We still follow blindly, and a number of us are still slain for no reason, but I finally believe a potent entity is acting through our master. Gulnan seems surprised at her own power, but her desire for conquest has erased any questions from her mind. I welcome her intensity and her strong use of the focus. Jared was more interested in lining his pockets than causing true havoc. I think what they're saying is that this used to be a cult of Cyric, usurped by a new creature, Gulnan. Of all the cults to discover in Neverwinter, it had to be formerly Cyric's. Actually, she'll be pleased to destroy whatever wretched members remain, including this inept Jared if he's still around. Linu asks if they can rest soon, and her mistress agrees, bidding her to go on. The south of the heavens is marked by Iriaebor, a zigzag line of stars that crawls along the horizon from west to east, beginning with an upswept head or bright starry cluster, and ending with a curving tail of stars. It's called the Serpent of the Sands by the Bedine, Faeraula in Tunland, Sword of the South in Cormyr, the Southfires in Iriaebor, and the Lightning Bolt in Westgate. West is marked by the double daggers, two fuzzy clusters of blue-white stars which appear as two side-by-side crescents or arcs in the sky, points downwards. It's called the two Gembias, or the Eyes of Faith by the Bedine, Eyes of the Watching Woman by barbarians here in the north, and where Saloon looks back by men from Hill's Edge. Linu reminds Lily, if lost, to just look straight between the eyes to find due west. Lily laughs. If she's lost, she has little Linu, her knowledgeable navigator. Inspector General Black, or rather the Lady of Murder, as this has become somewhat of a personal affair, descends the stair, eager to crush the former cult of Cyric.